This is Speaking of Writers. I'm Steve Richards. The book is Life's Unexpected Blessings. The author is Michelle Copeland. Life's Unexpected Blessings is about a woman named Sheila whose life has not turned out like she planned or expected. Along the way, she has faced some obstacles, but has gotten through them with her faith in God. During her journey, she meets James, who has also faced some of the same challenges. Love soon blossoms between the two, and maybe her life turned out better than she expected. Michelle Copeland never expected to become an author. She wanted to be many things when she was younger, but she decided she wanted to go into medicine. She attended University of Florida, majored in pre-med. More specifically, she majored in microbiology. After college, Michelle tried to get into medical school. She didn't get in, but people say you never get in on the first try. She learned phlebotomy and ECG, and after graduating college in hopes of improving her chances of being hired with no luck, she put that dream aside to help her family. However, then remembered when she was a young girl that she loved to draw and sketch, so she started painting. And one day, Michelle decided to write a book. Never say never, Michelle Copeland. Welcome to this program.
Thank you for having me.
So, where did the idea for Life's Unexpected Blessings come from?
Well, sir, that's very interesting. It came out of my frustrations, I guess. One day I just needed to get some stuff out, I guess, and I started writing, and these ideas and characters came to my mind, and next thing I know, I had a book that I initially was not going to publish. And then after a little while, I was like, well, you know what, this might be an actually good book. But I wasn't sure if anybody was going to buy it or like it. But then I said, you know what, I have nothing to lose, so why not go ahead and get it published and see what happens. And that's what I did. Here I am today on your show talking about it.
And what was that feeling like when you did get it published?
I was very excited. It was odd to call myself an author. I'm like, I never thought, like you said in the beginning, that I would ever be an author. I never thought I would write a book. Like you said, never say never. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to come your way. So I'm seeing what's happening. I'm going to ride the ride and see what happens.
We're chatting with Michelle Copeland here on Speaking of Writers. Her new book is Life's Unexpected Blessings. It is out now and available at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, also the publishing group, which is Durant's Publishing, right?
Yes, sir. Durant's Publishing.
The characters in this book, Michelle, Sheila and James. How did you create Sheila and James?
Well, to be honest, Sheila is loosely based on me, and most of the characters in the book are based on people that I know, like the sister. She's based on my sister because I have one older sister, and the relationship in the book is very similar to the relationship I have with my sister. And then there's the mom character, which is based on my mom, and the relationship that Sheila and her mom have in the book is very similar to the relationship that we have. James and his family, they are completely made up. I do not know anyone that I base them on. I just purely made them up out of my mind. But the other characters in the book, the few neighbors, they're based on people that live in my neighborhood. So that's where I got the ideas for the characters from my life. Because the book I take a lot from my life in the book. Because Sheila's dad died from Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, which my dad did have, and he passed away about 11 or 12 years ago from that. So in the book, my experiences, Sheila's experiences are very similar to my experience. And they always say, write what you know, or that's what I've heard. Write what you know. I'm not into murder or mystery. I don't know nothing about that. But I do know about what has happened in my life and the way that I have felt. So some of the stuff in the book is coming from my life, what I have experienced so far.
Michelle, what's been the reaction and feedback from some of those people who some of these characters are loosely based on?
Well, one of my neighbors told me that he liked the book a lot, but he was like, he could tell that, you know what, some of these people I recognize. I was like, yeah, I based it on some of the people. And then he's like, and the main character, Sheila, he's like, that's you. You based that on you, didn't you? I said, well, yes, I did. Mainly she's based on me. But he recently moved out of the neighborhood And he's always asking me about, are you going to write another book? And I'm like, I'm not sure. It depends on how well this book does. Because if people want more, I have more ideas for books. I have ideas for sequels to this book and a prequel and a sequel to this book, and an idea for another book that has nothing to do with these books or this book. But the reaction hasn't been that bad. It's been, like I said, it's been good. It's been interesting. He also said he had questions for me, but he never got the chance to ask the other questions that he had about the book.
I want to talk to you about your writing process for this book, Michelle. Did you use an outline at all, or you let the story just unfold as you were writing it?
I just basically let it unfold, just let it flow. Wherever direction it was taking me, that's where I went. Like I said, it's basically loosely based on my life. There's parts of it that is real, that it's like stuff that I have been through, and then there's some parts that are just completely made up, and like the characters, like I said, James and his father and his niece, they're all made up characters. I do not know anybody like them. So the process, I didn't really have any kind of structure or outline. One day I just started writing, and I was like, because I was frustrated and things weren't going so well, and I was getting my frustration out. I was like, I was thinking about my life at the time, and I'm like, so I just started writing, and I was like, it would be nice if one day I met someone like James, or maybe it'd be nice one day to have a art gallery. Because someone mentioned that to me a while back ago. A friend that I sort of made when I went to school to learn phlebotomy, he saw my paintings, one of my paintings or a couple of my paintings, and he was like, you should open an art gallery. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. And I had someone else tell me that I had the gift of gab, because I guess I'm a friendly person. I like to talk to people. If you talk to me, then I'll talk to you. I guess I've always been like that, maybe. More so now that I'm older, but when I was younger, I was very shy. Like I said, he was, somebody was doing some work at the house, and I talk to everybody, anybody. I don't care what color you are or anything like that. If you want to talk, I'll talk to you. I'm friendly. I try to be friendly and courteous to everybody. And he was like, you got the gift for gab. And then I remembered that for some reason, and it stuck in my head. So like I said, one day I sat down, and I was, like I said, frustrated and thinking about my life, and like, I thought that I would have had this by now, and I would have had that by now, and reflecting, I guess, which everybody does. Everybody reflects. So I just started writing and came up with these characters and started with things that I knew about, and I was like, well, let's see. Mom, you loosely base it on my mom and loosely base it on my sister, and like, this is how I'm feeling right now on this day. I'm 35 years old. I live with my mom. I live with my sister. But when you're asked that question in high school about where you think you're going to be in the future, I'm like, this is not where I thought I would be. Then like I said, it just took on a life of its own.
Michelle, in what way or ways did this book help?
It got a lot of my frustrations out. I was able to, like, think about my life in a different way, in a different perspective. And it also made me think about my faith. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? This is what I was taught when I was younger, when I went to church, and now, and everything that I've been through, that God will always be there. He will never forsake you. There has to be something that is out there that He has for you. You just don't know it. He just doesn't tell you right out. He just is not that simple. He will show you when it's time. Timing is everything. And that's what I got from it. And that's what the main theme of the book actually is. It's to have faith in God and just appreciate the people that you have in your life. And then, to appreciate the people you have in your life and put faith in God and the journey. Just enjoy the journey that God has put you on. And I know sometimes the journey is hard and sometimes it's not that enjoyable, but in the end, you'll appreciate it. You'll appreciate it.
Great advice from Michelle Copeland and her book, Life's Unexpected Blessings. It is out now and available at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and also the publishing company for the book, Durant's Publishing. Michelle, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you again for having me, Mr. Richards. Pleasure talking to you.
And this is Speaking of Writers.